and just clicking buttons and such. Hello, poking around and just clicking buttons and such. Hello, poking around and just clicking buttons and such. Hello, poking around. All right, looks like we're decent here. Oh, are we live? I'm so sorry. I totally did not mean to go live there. That's really funny. I didn't know that would do that. I was just trying to test my audio. All right, sweet. I guess we're starting and such. I I don't mind it. But yes, so I procrastinated the event quest as much as I possibly could. The what's his face? The top 30 prestige metric. I tried to get this as high as possible before I ended up locking it in. So I have 1 day and 16 hours to do the entirety of the modified EQ here. I have completely procrastinated quite a bit. So we'll see. I know they adjusted some of the numbers, and I know that it's a lot more favorable to some specific champions. So we'll see how this thing goes. I am live, I think. Well, it do not matter. I am forcing myself to do this on live stream, so I am able to actually end up getting this done at some point. I guess I don't really have a stream schedule. Not that I would have one. It's been a hot second since I've really done much, but I do want to be able to, you know, chill out and commit a little bit to this one. Also, again, I know I said this and used this as an excuse for the last time I did a stream, but this is the first time in a bit that I'm doing this on a new device. So I'm not used to the form factor of an iPad, so I might suck a little bit, and that's okay. Poison off from it. Probably not the best idea to start with Sinister. He's a really good region champ, but I do have my rank 4. I can fall back on if needed. Not the full yellow bar I was hoping for, but still pretty good. Oh, did they remove the Spidey Supreme that was here? Oh, they did, because I totally remember using Onslaught for him. You know what? I kind of don't want to use Omega Red quite just yet because he just gets so much free health. You know what? 7-star Iceman is fine. That sucks a little bit because I can't keep my cold snaps on as much against Jabari, but I'll take what I can get. Oh, what's up, Sam? Nothing much in particular. I procrastinated the hell out of this event quest, at least the second run of it, because I wanted to get as high of a prestige as I possibly could. And I ended up doing the entirety of 9.3 in the DMG, which is a very fun place to fight Doom. I'd recommend it if you're ever considering getting oh god, this is gonna be so tricky. Okay. Oh, jeez. Alright, I don't think there's a world in which I'll be able to combo this into not using a special. Great. Just wonderful. I might quickly restart here. But yeah, I did the entirety of the Doom fight in the motor vehicles for the state that I live in. That was very fun. You know what? Let me see if I can just regen back up to full next fight. Who is it against? As long as it's not against that Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, I should be good. Actually, yeah, Fix It's a fine champion. I'll be able to regen up nice and quick. Hey. Yeah, of course. My procrastination knows very little bounds. Come on, use it into my block so I can get that regen. Or at least give me another bleed. This should hopefully do quite a bit. If you didn't have the joy of using Omega Red back in Alliance War days, it was just an absolute beast that I could potentially do. Just fix it chip damage because I'm punching up like 6 ranks here is like not something to stop at. It makes me really want to consider rank 3ing my Omega, but he's so reliant on that high sig. There's so many good mutant champions that I don't want to use him on. Alright, let's get you to a special too. Deal with the guns. You know what? You can use a special one. Let's see how much this does. Quite a bit. Okay, let's not have my parries fail. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick little restart here. Accidentally got clipped by one of those. I think the attack and defense values are significantly better than they were prior. Last time that they were present in the Elder difficulty, but they are still just so brutal. I don't mind starting with Omega here. There is very little room for mistakes here. And honestly, with the amount of revives I currently have in the overflow, it might be more worth it for me to just commit to them and use them here instead of restarting it. That ship has already sailed. I do think I want to take out Omega Red 3. It's just a question on if, like, the skip special 3 button now being like a thing inside of Battlegrounds makes me really want to take up Namor over pretty much any other option, because I'm not sure if you've seen, but Namor gets to relive his glory days of being an actually relevant meta offensive option with the skip special 3 button. I'm very excited to see what happens with that. I know Nagase is going to put out some videos about it. If he hasn't already, of course. But when the season actually starts, he's going to cook. I'm very excited to see him at the Brawl with that. I think probably the Brawl finale, if they're able to get all the quality of life changes that they had, like, ready to go for that. And I think it's going to be insane. Do I want to run 6-star Iceman? Probably can't be that bad, especially against Jabari. Right, just gotta not get hit with the special 3 this time around. That'll be all it takes. I love being able to heal off of her and snare. Thankfully, Iceman specials work like a cross-map gun, basically. Doesn't matter how far I am. Oh. And I can just use the block to finish that off. Actually, very quickly before our next fight, I'm going to run over and just check my overflow to see just how many revives I have expiring. Alright, the answer is quite a few, and I should not be... how would I say, frivolous with my revives. I shouldn't try to go for the perfect solos. I have 27 in the overflow plus, you know, the normal 50. So for any reason I feel like it's worth a revive, I probably should just check it out. Alright, what is up next? It's the Joe. So who should I use against Joe? Let's try Dust. Surely this payoff will be worth it. Cage, if you're still in here, are my audio levels fine? It's been a hot second since I streamed or too much of anything, so I don't know if I've just been sucking into the cam this whole time. No problem. try Silver Sam. Truth be told, I don't know how to play this guy that well. I just know that he gives a lot of combo and a lot of combo goes around. Oops. That is very satisfying to do. I always forget that the Storm Relic gives bonus duration to Silver Samurai's personal unblockable. So it's even better to go in and get those interrupts while he's present. Or, well, like shortly after a special too. The special one for the Daunted into the larger moves. Should I be saving anyone particular for any of these fights down here? Be any invisible champions that would be nice to have any of these champions for. You know what would be kind of cool? Let's run Domino into Black Cat. I don't know why I did that. Alright, I might be getting a little bit too much out here, but I don't think it matters too much. Because I feel like that's almost dead. It's really dead. Shout out Domino, just absolutely making very quick work of just shrugging those bleeds. I was worried I was going to shoot up to a special 3 and push her to a special 3. But that looks to be a non-issue. Sure. And just because I have so many of them in the overflow, I'll check on some boosts just to get through this a wee bit faster because time is of the essence. I also wanted that XP boost for perfectly normal reasons. Actually a big ploy to showcase Colossus's armor break immunity against everybody that's not a tech champion. Let's force some bleeds. Now we're cooking with gas. Dude, Deadpool X-Force is so good. I'm so happy he's gonna be coming to the basic in December. The big pool that they dropped that includes like a ton of oops, sorry, that was me. Like that includes a ton of the older prior champions are just such like it's such an easy win for people who couldn't go out and pick them up to the events that they came in originally. I was very lucky to get the gifted guardians that I did get. I'm very happy about that. Alright. Rank 2 Iceman. They know my 7 stars rank 3, and let's try not to get cheeky with the intercepts. Use this guy as normally as I can. Which, you know, isn't a big ask, I guess. Never mind, I guess I am really substantially worse than I thought. Let's see that bad. I could always play in my tools. Let's just simply walk in. Or I could fire off a into a guaranteed faith window. And realize how impactful a defender Ronin can be. It's you've seen Ronin on offense. Get ready to see Ronin on defense. Yeah, I can do a pretty simple version. Sure, all the clever cookies in the audience know this already, but when the opponent against Onslaught is nerfed, they can't have their they can't go invisible. For lack of a better term. I kind of don't want this to go. I would like to regen a little bit more, so I'm going to stave off these Daunteds. They're getting and just going to take this as slow as I possibly can to give me as much regen as possible. 68%, not bad. Is it worth fully healing up here? Electra's a bad idea. Shang might also be a bad idea, and Sandman will give me natural regen. Yeah, you know what? Let's just use rank 4 Sinister here. skills. Well, can't complain about 92%. I feel like I just get to go nuts with whoever I want at this point. My roster might be a little bit too big to fully feel the weight of restrictions here. And I immediately get hit with poison because I got too overeager there. Can't parry here once the poison's up. Just how nachos works. However, I do get to slice my own turn out. But speaking of the last live stream and all the changes that came about or were directly teased, I guess I should say, I really do hope the first edition foils that come around are quite impactful. Like I feel like not necessarily in the game impactful, but in terms of their ability to encourage unique game modes. Like, you know, similar to Brian's Howard exploration when he was doing the Necro runs. I would really love to see just like some obscene challenges where the only reward is cosmetic. Speaking of cool interactions though, because Gentle's anti-evade triggers, because he's being bled of course, by the node set, Spider-Man Symbiote doesn't actually get the ability to evade against him. Yeah, Larry, your invite's in there. Or, well, not your invite, but you're on the list. Or we have quite a few people. It's a pretty long list. I mean, many of them probably have very similar reasons for wanting to join as you do. The CCP member. I don't control that one. I'm not even CCP. I think there's a whole litany of requirements for that one. I haven't refreshed myself anytime recently, but there's a few YouTube requirements or Twitter requirements or something to that regard. If you want to pursue it, more luck to you. I believe Grass and Omega got accepted relatively recently. I think it's cool to see more modern creators get in, because it was this old, at least back in my day, this old like can I ask Karate Mike about that? It used to be this old institution where it was a ton of, you know, relatively older creators, and there weren't many new heads about. I don't know Karate Mike Larry. We're not, once you start making YouTube videos, it's not all connected. My only connection with karate was way back in the day when I was in for Loki. And since then, I haven't really had the opportunity to speak to him. So, I have as many connections as you do. It's not like there's some sort of hive mind that you get added to once you hit the go live button on YouTube. It'd be cool though. Oh yes, the MCC created hive mind. And the badge when you get in. And great. America has a dimension. It'd be cool if she didn't, but she does. Not anymore, now that she's gone. Yeah, I got I have no specific ends on there for you, Larry. I wish you luck if you're going about the normal route to getting CCP though. Well, not that there's any alternative route, mind you. I guess NSTW will be fine. I maybe should have saved someone for Gwenpool, but frantically tapping and trying to maximize NSTW's damage output. Refresh. Does that pause? I think it does. Come on. Oop. You know what? That's power. Yeah, it's nice to see some of the newer heads who've come into MCOC, and I guess newer heads is a relative term, but the only green badge on my profile is the veteran badge. It's not the CCP one. The CCP one looks a little bit different. It's that green instead of that green, if you can see it. The MSD and myself. But yeah, it's I am not CCP, nor have I ever been. What does this one got? Ebb and Flow knockdown, Scared Stiff passive, Rubber Band, you are already dead. I think I Deathless Thanos this in the past. Shouldn't be too bad to do. Hey, PP. Howdy, howdy. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I have not fully read all of the notes on this Gwenpool, but this is my third time fighting her. If I manage to die to her somehow, I will be very ashamed with my skill level. However, weirder things have happened. Been forever since you've seen me live? Yeah, it has been a hot second. I've been very, how do you say, inactive since around 2021? 2022? It's been, I took a break for about 4 years, and now I got back into the game in 2020, late 23. So obviously you're seeing me play with Deathless Things currently. So I got back into the active endgame scene around then. Not Alliance War though. Kind of got tired of Alliance War. I guess I should say I got burned off a little bit, and I just decided it wasn't for me. And I moved over into very casual battlegrounds. Usually finish on Styrian low celestial these days. I know that isn't the definition of casual to a lot of people, but it is to me. Just bait this guy into But yeah, trying to pick up streaming a little bit more. You know, also been trying to force myself to do a little bit more of the adaptive difficulty. I procrastinated it because I was trying to get a little bit more prestige under my belt, and turns out not the best idea, because I'm like, oh, well, if I wait another day, I can get another signature stone from the daily super event, and then I never have to worry about it. But yeah, it's it's been quite the journey. I got up to 30.4k. I think I was at like 29.2. I had a few rank 4s in the bin. Retirement Alliance top tier is 2-time intensive. You're telling me. Not to mention, it's just kind of sad to let other people down. The stress of war was just too much. I would play, you know, a piece of high tier content and, you know, die on an Alliance War node. It would ruin my like entire night. And, you know, I play this game to get a little bit of a disconnect from everything. It's just, it's not very, you know, chill to have to worry about letting down a whole big old group of people when I can just let myself down through suboptimal gameplay, basically any time. And that can come at my own time and at my own expense, and I don't have to worry about letting a ton of people down. High tier war, I think, is not for me. Oof, pretty big lag spike on iPad. Look at this thing restart when I get done with Abomination here. But yeah, I had a, how do you say, itch for MCOC, and I came back to it and decided that it was time. And yes, I agree with you completely on that. It is just a game, and you should enjoy playing it. And unless you're very, very, very tippy top, and I'm talking like Seton Legacy Brian Grant, like there is no reason why you should view this as a job to play war at that level. It's just so stressful. Just not my cuppa. You know, each their own, and that is not my own. But you know, I do respect high tier Alliance War players. The amount of dedication towards just everything going on there is just absolutely nuts. Trying to think who I can use here, because I've been meaning to play more Anti-Venom. I have a 7-star Awaken from the Rebirth event, which, you know, I should make a video on. I saved up over, I think, 150 crystals, or 100 crystals, and I did not. I recorded them all, and then I never made a video from it. Should also lock in and not get hit with the block when reminiscing about stuff. Had a lot of fun the first couple of years War came out, but it got old. Yeah, it's just... I don't know how to describe it. It feels kind of stale. Big Thing was kind of nice. You know, given in part due to my name, but... You know, I'm not the craziest in the world about, like, stay on the ball or getting pinged at 10 p.m. because what's his face? Someone forgot to clear an Alliance Quest node. I know they removed link nodes, but you know the logic still stands. I don't want to. Something about Alliance Quest and Alliance War were fun in 2018, 2019. I just don't get the same joy out of them now, and I don't really want to go back to ye old days, basically. And I like where things are right now. I think it's very chill, and it's very nice to be able to play at my own pace and do all the content that comes out. I think they've made the game a lot better than it was back in 18-19. New champion acquisition is a lot easier with the Titan pool, and I don't feel particularly pressed to spend unless it's on rank 4s. Even then, that's more so a question of my ability to actually pony up the cash. I know that's a little bit of a hot take right now because of how everything is going, but I don't think that it's necessary to spend on anything other than sales, and even then necessarily stretching it a little bit. As long as you have the skill to back up, you know, a relatively decently sized roster, you have the ability to shoot relatively high up in the rankings. That's a very hot take. But I was able to get back into a stable account after a few years of inactivity. But outside of that, it's you know, my roster is quite whaley currently. As I swap in Red Guardian as a 7-star. I do hope, and I was talking about this a little bit earlier, PP, but I'm not sure if you're still here or if you were here for that. But with the first edition foilings and such coming out, I do hope that they give more breadth to accounts that are... I hope the monetization structure in this game becomes more about that foiling, and that's... Ooh, he clipped me. That type of logic instead of the necessary, or like what feels like the necessary sale of champions. That took a hot second to come out of my mouth, but spend on champion bad, spend on cosmetic good. Was joking in a few chats if I should buy an Odin or the new Marvel Legends wearable Wolverine mask. Everyone said buy the mask. Right? It's nuts what the cost is. I skipped the Samurai sale to buy the iPad that I'm currently playing on. Like that is like it is nuts that I had to make that distinction. The reason why I have Samurai is I got very lucky with the premium crystals, the 5 ones that was in there. It's just the cost of this game is just so large if you're trying to stay on the bleeding edge, but you know, you don't have to stay on the bleeding edge. There's no one forcing you. Like, it's spend when you wanna, where you wanna. And Lord knows that they've given us the ability to catch up a little bit. I've had, I want to say, probably like 20 revives expire. I'm not particularly stressed about my ability to make it work. Length of account should factor in. Whew, telling me. I think the account that I'm currently playing on, my main, is I want to say like older than the game itself, because I joined on like the Norway beta. So shout out Luke Cage's increased block proficiency. It's absolutely nuts for that. I can block whatever I want. Yeah, some sort of retention deals would be nice, but I'm saying that as someone who's stuck around for the past 11 years. Well, not all of them, but, you know, 9 out of the 10, 11 years that I've the game's been around, and I like it. I like my little Marvel dolls. But yeah, just got Paragon on my baby account. Congratulations. And the jump in resources is absolutely crazy. I fully believe it. There are some absolute speed enhancers there. I'm excited to see what they do with Act 6. I know that they're saying they're going to nerf it to the ground and buff the rewards to hell and back, but I'm very interested to see what that looks like in practice, because I might want to start a new account about it. I think that would be fun, like a free-to-play ult. Then again, I can only like barely keep up with my my main as it stands, but the early game is, you know, pretty decent. Okay, come on. Whenever you're ready, Unstoppable Colossus. Do you think it's nuts that Unstoppable Colossus, both halves of him got buffed, so technically his kit is 100% unique currently? Colossus got a buff and Juggernaut got a buff, so instead of being a weird mismatch between two different kits, he's fully unique as he stands. Well, technically if you count the 1-star like Colossus that didn't get buffed, then he's not fully unique, but as like a 6-star, he is fully distinct, and he has his own kit, which is kind of horrifying. I don't really like it that much. I don't like the idea that he could just be a standalone thing. I should totally be looking ahead to see if there are any challenging fights. I don't remember there being any in this specific one outside of the Rhino up ahead. And Yondu can be a little bit of a tussle. Those, I forget what they made as damage types now, but they changed it to bleed to something else. So want a loyalty refund from my 5 and 6 star Unstoppable Colossus? You know, it's arena fodder, I guess. I was barely looking. I recently bought 6-star Unstoppable Colossus. I have nothing else to use the loyalty for. I did it and I felt like I was completing some sort of divine cycle. It's now I just have to pull 6-star Punisher and 6-star Immortal Iron Fist, and I have all the original trophies. I still have yet to pull I pulled 5-star Punisher, like, I think the first week he became available. And then 6-star Punisher has eluded me for the better half of eternity. So, whenever he comes into my account, I'm sure I'll be happy with him. Yeah, if you could get a loyalty refund with your 5 and 6-star Unstoppable Colossus, what would you use that loyalty for? Because that to me is the more interesting question. It's going to be void from the loyalty crystal. Every other champ duped. Oh, do you have him, or is it like are you just looking for the 1 second, too late. Or are you just looking for the dupe? Because he really does need that sig. Come on, nullify it. Thank you. what's up, Journal? Long time no see. Yeah, I think I'm missing Howard from my loyalty crystal currently. I am fine. Oh, since we last talked, I think I quit the game and then came back to it, and then 5 years passed. So I've been hunting Howard and Hulkbuster like forever. Yeah, I bought there was an event a while ago that gave something like 1.5 you had the ability to select something from them. And I needed Hulkbuster, I believe, more. It's how I got Hulkbuster and Angela. And those guys have just been absolutely killer. Also, I should not have activated his pre-fight here. It was a bad idea, because now I have, I was going to say no avenue to get buffs, or debuffs on the opponent, but thank you, nodes. Very cool. You never quit? Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of reading material-based MCOC channels now. I've seen the MCOC Encyclopedia. The journal's still kicking around. MCOC Tome's gonna be up next. Finally able to get into Void. I think I awakened my Void with a gem. Here he is in all of his glory. Alright, who do I want to use against? I have no relic on Void, and I think that's fine. I'll deal with that later. All I know is if he gets up to 20, it's a problem for me. MCOC Papyrus. Actually, oh, I was gonna say, do I shut that off with two, what's the name of Void specific, I should stop trying to name things and instead focus on the maps that I'm actively losing to, buffed Rhino. Jeez. Please give me a second. I need to lock in. But yes, the variety of MCOC tome names are very funny and very prominent. Okay, it would be very cool if I could not get beaten by... Right, he needs to charge to use that breach. Oh yeah, I recently bought my 6-star Unstoppable Colossus as well. Did he get up to an over 10 combo and remove a Fear of the Void passive? I think he did. Okay. That's really funny. I get to do whatever now because he has so many debuffs on him, I can't die. I say as I'm about to die. Oh god. Alright, well I'm thinking about my life decisions here. What are some good examples of science champions with regen who I can take against the Yondu who's up next? I don't know why I was so scatterbrained that entire fight. I'm good at the game at times. Photon has some regen. Scorpion has a little bit, but it's through denying the opponent regen. And now we're getting into really deep 6-star territory. You know what? I have so many expiring. Revives and health potions. Yeah, Sentry has regen, but like... Listen, I have, what, 2 days until... two days until this event quest's over. I might not get through the fight in that amount of time. Hello, Stifle. Yondu, what did they do to your kit? What were they cooking? Can't wait to pull this guy through Christmas sales. Like, yay! 7-star Yondu. You shouldn't have. Like, really? Any specific fights up here that I need a specific champion for? Not that I can see. You know what? Yeah, let's just chuck in Sentry here. I am very excited to see what Ghost Rider's buff ends up looking like. Photon will be the first rank 3 on the baby account. Yeah, what you just saw there was not indicative of Photon's normal playstyle. The Photon is very good. This, however, is indicative of Sentry's playstyle, and you should rank him up on any account that can get him. Ignore the 10 Furies and the 18 Withers, or whatever you want to call them. Their proper names are. Wow, first charge done. Only 12 more charges needed until I can regen. He definitely does ramp. It's just the ramp is quite vertical. I'm being messaged something very funny on a second monitor. I can't share it with the class, unfortunately. Yeah, I do think the synergies are the biggest missed opportunity. It's I will say something that I don't see a lot of people mentioning is that they removed some of the more problematic defenders. Like there was a Spidey Supreme. It was quite a bother in the first quest. least he was the most impactful defender they had. In one of the upcoming quests near the end, I believe they removed the mojo that had given a lot of people a lot of problems. I don't know why I'm trying to get debuff vulnerabilities this thing, but I'll certainly take it. It would be very nice to see, like, everybody get synergies. Like, every single synergy that a champion could potentially ever have would be present. And I think that would be a very cool way to handle the lack of synergies present on basically all champions. And unfortunately, Thing does still hit like a wet noodle to stand alone. I would really like to see him with the full Thingergy team. So my fan just kicked on in my room. Game volume is very high, mic volume is very low. Thank you. Appreciate the heads up. Alright. Let's try that. Let me know if that sounds better, Journal. Also, who is the boss for this one? Oh, Purgs. The one where they hit into the block. Much better now. Of course. Thank you for the heads up. I have a pretty decent quality mic, so I'm hoping I'll be able to at least sound somewhat decent at times. Actually, you know what? Let me say Hulk for... Yeah, let me save Hulk for the Purgatory. Surely I have not forgotten how to play Scorpion. The Null and Void synergy for obvious reasons. I thought that was a synergy. Isn't there a I thought Null and Void was a synergy name. Or am I thinking of like some sort of EQ name or like some other internal joke? You know what, I can poke at his shield a few times. Poke. I will say I don't fully know the names of the resource that this gives. Like the... what's its face? The Ethereon? Yeah, it's called the Ethereon. The state of the game we are in right now, we really need an Acropolis 2.0, since now they're basically giving us a hint towards the 7-star Aegon. I wonder if we're... I don't know if we're in the need of a lot of endgame challenges, because I'm gonna say some it's CT's hot take corner, but I'm of the opinion that they probably won't do a lot of do an Acropolis 2.0 because of this. My inventory is absolutely overflowing, and the amount of 4-hour crystals I have is like, you know, kind of obscene. And most endgame players are in a similar position. 9.3 didn't cost me any revives, like long term. They're giving them out with such volume in every single piece of EQ. And it's just, like, I don't think they're going to really commit to another piece of Necropolis content. However, what I feel like they'll do in its place, though, is... sorry... let me pay attention for a second and play the video game that I'm streaming. But the piece of content that I think they will put out is going to be a foil run, basically. And each champion that exists will have a chance to get some sort of foiling, and it'll be some sort of obscene challenge to get that foiling for those champions. And honestly, I'm kind of for it. I would appreciate having like a extremely difficult piece of content where where it's completely optional, and you just have the ability to potentially have the ability to do some things, I guess, instead of it being like this Acropolis 2.0 slog. Yeah, exactly, Journal. It's if they release content, it's not going to make them, like, not to think like a business person real quick, but it's not going to make them any money. Like, our stashes are so large that the content's going to need to be either literally impossible, like think OG Realm of Legends, and no one's going to enjoy it, or it needs to be some sort of opt-in content that drains the resources. And I think the way that we'll see, I guess, balance equalize is by you know, having more opportunities to earn cosmetics. And, you know, like maybe I really want a thing cosmetic, and the only way to do it is by doing Necropolis with the Fantastic Four. And I end up committing to that, and it costs me like 60 revives, let's say. And there is, you know, a chance that all those cosmetics are locked behind nigh impossible challenges, and that doesn't affect the balance of the game because it's just something that's purely visible, and it's not going to be this big old like slog, basically. And I think that will probably be the form in which the new content that they're releasing takes. And I'm very excited about that because I would love to skip irrelevant content. In fact, I am skipping irrelevant content right now. My Karina's challenge, I took my break when all of these came out. I'm not gonna do Labyrinth of Legends with 4-star champions tagged Canadian for a 6-star Nexus crystal. I'm not gonna do that. Just a hard full stop. It's not gonna be something I'll be doing anytime soon. And, you know, those rewards become devalued. But what doesn't become devalued is cosmetics. Because cosmetics always, you know, they at least appreciate at a different level. And I'm very excited to see what happens as a result. Dude, my Karina challenges look close to exactly like yours. Most of them are just there, not ever touching them, even though I have revives expiring. Yeah, it's like, why bother? Swipe left, know your other left. Alright. It's just garbage. Like, I'm not gonna do it. Well, something else that I think you should consider, PP, is that the Deathless have custom colored bars. Like they have their own unique like coloring at the top of the screen where like their health and attack are. And I think that there is a good chance that that comes out as like a customization option. And I would really like to see stuff like that, because I think it's cool that, you know, I like it when Kabam makes money. Controversial take, I know. But it means the game gets to keep on running. And if it means it gets to be something that doesn't interfere with my ability to matchmake in Battlegrounds, then even better. If every single rank 4 on my account was earned through, 1,000,000% skill, I would love this game probably 100 times more than I currently do. But as it currently stands, each one of these is like a credit card transaction. And so that's kind of bleh to me. I would like it if it were a little bit more expressive in terms of the skill and the story that's in there. Is there anyone that I need to worry about in this path? This guy can be a problem. She can also be an issue. I reported a bug with, I want to say Green Goblin. I hope it's fixed. If not, we're up for a very long fight. Nobody should really have a problem with Kabam making money. Lots of it too, as long as it doesn't create a divide between players. I agree. I think that the divide between free-to-play players and not pay to win, but the larger spenders in the game has never been quite as large as it's been now, save that one time in like 2023. Oh geez, the bug is probably still here. Just for a little bit of context, because I know we have some people who know shop in the chat. Journal, I'm looking at you. The event listeners for the on-hit damage type for Green Goblin's Special 1, where he does his magic fingers, they got disabled with one of the updates as they were cleaning up the strings for damage types. So that means Green Goblin's Special 1 for the power drain will never trigger. And so I am in it because Toad will just keep regenning, and he has quite a potent regen. In fact, I'm just going to quit out of this and remember to not use Green Goblin. But it's good to know that that bug is still there. Also, this iPad isn't updated to the most recent version of the game. I don't know why I thought that would be fixed. I am dumb. I don't know why I thought that would be fixed on the same build that I reported it on. Yeesh. I was gonna speed through this gene. No, Journal. It's a damage type listener. It's I thought his power drain was just triggered once on this fight. I didn't see it triggered. I could be wrong and it could have just been fixed, but it shouldn't be that rare. Oop. Go my power drain. I, however, should probably use someone with heal block against Toad. That way I don't have to do anything crazy here. Yep, I agree with you completely, Journal. And we finally have a champion who can benefit from the debuff siphons. Furies, 3 debuff siphons, 1 big cosmic cube headed right at this guy's face. I believe the special 1 instant damage is also modified by the debuff siphons, so it's pretty good. Pretty good. Psycho Man, Immortal Hulk. And the boss is that Jessica, which I think I like using Chilith for, or maybe Okoye. Doesn't really matter too much right now because those are not tech champions. By the way, I was kind of surprised in their live stream when they announced most of the special crystal champions are going to the basic very soon. Yeah, me too. I'm surprised that they're doing them all in one big wave, because I feel like there's still so much catch up for them to do with the what's its face, like the Deathless and then the Idols. Like I feel like we haven't had like that crazy of a lead up here, and that they still have a lot of work to do in terms of everything they need to do in regards to those chases, or at least coming to the vast majority of the player base. I missed my chances to mash. I mashed at the wrong opportunity. Just put a tech gem into Sentinel and took him up to rank 4. Oh well. I mean, not really. I mean, the odds of pulling one of those champions are just so slim. You're not going to regret your Sentinel rank 4. Now, however, I do understand the disparity if you're like, oh, then what happens when there's just a selector there? You know, like they're doing with the Omega Days stuff. Really should be weaving in more heavies here. Doesn't matter, Viv Vision does Viv Vision things. Yeah, I don't think you're going to regret your Sentinel. And plus his SIG isn't super SIG dependent. I think the odds of you pulling one of them is you know, kind of low relative to it all. Because the basic pool is just so big these days. I want to say I was missing like 2 champions, but I'm going to be missing Carnage and Civil Warrior, who, you know, aren't the most meta-defining champions in the world, but, you know, they have their place. Let's see how quickly I can build up Warlock here. I wouldn't mind going for a few special 3s just for the infection loop to regen a little bit. Very heavy might be the move here as well. If I could get a few crits, that would be absolutely amazing. Alright, let's just go for the special 3 here. Hello? kill that dude with like the dot immunity? So be it. Warlock was the last like meta champion I was searching for out of the basic. Everyone else was, or everyone else either isn't super meta or just is kind of bad. But yep. Would you gem and rank Cole or Viv? I think it depends entirely on what you're looking at and what you need to have. Because Viv is, you know, once again issuing a hot take alert for the stream. Viv is a better champion than Cole. Cole just has a higher damage output. So if you're looking for battleground nukes, it's... actually, I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that's just widely accepted. Viv is a better champion, but, you know, a little bit more niche and a little bit less big explosive number on the screen that you can clickbait to. But again, Cole's Sig doesn't super matter. Viv's does a lot. Like, Cole's Sig doesn't matter relative to you know, it all too much. Because it gives him just more stable, nukey things. Do I even want to do Arnhem Zola? Arnhem Zola is just... every single fight I use Zola in, it's just the slog. Yeah, let's just do Infamous against Sparky. Weird that it made me confirm that like 6 times. I would do... I feel like the tech class is a little bit more lacking than Cosmic in terms of nukes. Plus, like, consider the Cosmics that aren't currently released, like Hulkling or Cosmic Ghost Rider. Tech, who are we waiting on? It's like a little bit of a weaker class right now than most others. I don't think Carolina's gonna get touched. For a few reasons. One, I think this current BG meta is like inflating her quite a bit. And I think if a champion from that month was going to be like nerf programmed, it would be, I'm sorry, balance programmed. Sorry, I misspoke. Freudian slip. If a champion was going to be touched during that period, it would be Nico. Because Nico just absolutely just dominates on both sides. She's a little bit too good at cooking. Another important factor to take into account is prestige now as well. It is much better to take up a few 7 stars, rank 3 Sig 20 to Sig 60 or higher with those Sigs than put all of them into one champ. Well, I imagine PP's talking specifically about the Rebirth exclusive signature stones, and those are a little bit more limited in their options to place. Said I was going to go grab an energy drink and some water. I'm going to go do that now real quick. I will be right back. Hello, I'm back. I'll behave while I was gone. I still have 100 plus rebirth sig stones just sitting there. Pulled double night thrasher from Crystal Rewards. I'm so sorry, Journal. I avoided Sabretooth and Thrasher from my personal openings. So it was I think KT1 had a video day of where he was clearing and he pulled I think it was double Night Thrasher. It was very very sad to see. I guess would be the best way to put it. I pour one out for him. Awaken Voodoo, and he's around 660 or so. I mean, I don't regret. Also, contradictory to my own advice, I did in fact go cold because I'm a Battlegrounds demon. I'm gonna pop his regen here as well. And you know, I like him. He's good. He does what he needs to do, and that's get fights done fast. But if you are at all considering war or any other game mode, which I believe I said I remember you saying you didn't play, then it might be worth considering taking up Viv. I also don't know how to play Viv to the best of my ability, so I have a few Simula guides to watch before I fully commit to it. I also will say that the what's his face event that we had over the summer, the Summoners Fest one, that gave out stones that were for past events. So I think that's pretty interesting relative to the game economy. I think it's pretty cool that we've seen those gems and those items come back. Might be worth considering that they could bring them back for things in the future. I was genuinely trying to find something that's better about Night Thrasher lol, but just can't. Watched Allison edit, she was in a similar boat, and could only find one good thing, which was the low damaging debuff effect. Yeah, it's certainly something. Also, I think I have to do some dexes here to prevent him from just going infinite with his special one. Or just take a few hits to the face, that's also fine. I'm using Fant. Fant can do whatever he wants in terms of damaging debuffs. Fortunately, it does screw up my cycle a little bit. Alright, thank you. Or maybe I could just, you know, be competent for a second. I'm fine getting smacked in the face a little bit if it prevents him from going ballistic with the everything. And there we go. It's one of the first videos that I ever uploaded to this channel was a guide on Night Thrasher. I want to say it's something like 6-7 years old at this point. It's a very quick summary of just all of his abilities, and it's not the best video, but it was cool for the time. I'm trying to find a tech champion that can regen, and my mind keeps going back to Zola. Actually, Sentinel's probably substantially better than Zola. Oh god, it's the Black Widow too. Let me go Sentinel. And when you have the abilities of a champion that can fit into a 1-minute video or 90 seconds or less or whatever I called it, then there's probably something wrong with the champion. Not wrong with the champion. In fact, I think clean and efficient design is great, but if you have a champion that just kind of sits there like a limp potato, and the majority of the player base is like, yeah, this champion kind of sucks, then it might be worth revisiting. And they did revisit, and they made a few very good quality of life changes, but I don't think going deep into the guts of Night Thrasher's entire kit was on the agenda. I do remember Night Thrasher was really good back in the day, in the skill class when they were like 4-star challenges. If I remember, he was amazing because of the high block proficiency. They didn't really do justice with this buff. I would say it's the entire fleet of these champions usually has 3 distinct categories of champions, like 2 really good, really meta champions. In this case, Viv and Cole, and then 2 middle of the road champions, in this case Anti-Venom and Dr. Voodoo, who both are very situationally good tools, and then 2 champions that kind of feel a little bit worse than the other 4, and that was in this case Sabretooth and Night Thrasher. It's a little disheartening to you know, have your only options be pulled from there. But yeah, Thrasher was great back in the day. He was good for his time. But yeah, he's niche, and like Tim just said, you need to love him to bring him up all the way. Oh, wait a second! I just thought of something really cheesy. You know the shock on this node? You want to know who's really good at taking shock damage? Soulbark. Look at that. Probably shouldn't just be idling off in a corner, hoping to repeat that miracle again. It's kind of dumb that you have to do what you have to do with Solvark to get the power drain for this node. It's cool that the shock interaction works like that. Oops. Oh no, cold snap. Whatever am I gonna do? Oh no, so many frostbite effects. Oh no, kinetic discharge? So many strange interactions currently ongoing on screen. If you can keep track of exactly what's happening here. I thought, while we're on the topic of Thrasher, I thought he would be a little bit more meta-relevant with MODOK, but, you know, MODOK's buff is interesting, because I don't really know what they're doing with him. He's this combination champion that they've been, you know, putzing out for all sorts of things. Hit me with that cold snap, thank you. Still don't fully know Solvark's whole kit, but I know he wants to take that energy damage and then reflect it back on the opponent. I have a lot of learning left to do with him. Sucks because I just used a full revive basically. I'll just do it again. Tech class is I think the only one with two big ones that do like just the whole bar. But hopefully I'm not locked in here forever. Alright, come on. Nope, nope. I am a big fan of Zola's goofy little gameplay loop. I think it's incredibly stupid, but... Against something on like a long shot, it actually works out a little bit. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get a little closer, come on. Get a little closer. There we go. Get a little closer. And drop your special 2 before I have the whole thing Shrek me. Alright, thank you. Also probably should drop this because it is overtime. Yeah, the MODOK buff is a bit strange, and you would think Night Thrasher, Patriot, or even Frankencastle would be a decent counter, but none are ideal. I would say Frankencastle looks like a pretty good counter, all things considered. He just doesn't look like as free of a counter, I guess. It's weird to describe. So stupidest gameplay loop in the world goes to Arnim Zola for whatever you consider this to be. Ooh. You know... Oh. Well. This is why revives go in the overflow. That was really funny up until it wasn't. I should honestly probably have put the special lock on the special 2 there. I think I'll still probably be picking someone else from skill over him. Yeah, it's... I don't... Frankencastle's kit on paper doesn't make, like, too much sense to me. If that makes any sense. I don't understand what he's going for. I don't get what he's trying to do 100 million%. That was surprising. Yeah, it's long shot special too. It can hit like a truck out of nowhere. Those instant incinerates with those passive buffs can just cook ya if you're not paying attention. And I was not paying attention because I was trying to do Zola shenanigans. That one was my bad. Also, this is a really bad matchup. I'm in for a lot of pain currently. Alright, let's just parry and build up some furies. At least the energy resist is high on both sides of the field. I wonder if I can even do any shenanigans here with like a special 3 into like a... Hitting like a small freight train currently. Which I very much enjoy. But yeah, Longshot has a habit of just hitting like a truck with that special too. It's really isn't crazy. Oh yeah, Dracula's dire mechanic. I think it's very funny that they were like, yeah, let's make it a 666 seconds degen with that gets 666% added potency. And like, okay guys, we get it. You guys can stop now. But I think it's funny how flavorful it is. And the whole dire mechanic with the ticks happening faster is very cool. I am very excited to see what comes of that in the future with things that aren't like specific dots. Guess I could just run the guillotines. I'm at a point where their self-heal is going to come up, so... Or at least be relevant. As long as I don't have Brother Voodoo or Brother Daniel on myself, then we should be good for that threshold regen. I'm a big fan of those champions. I'm also excited to see what DLL's cooked up with Pavitr, the Spider-Man coming in November, who I think it's like the rumor mill is circulating that it might be Lizard and Spider-Man, which would be really cool, because there was those broken tanks inside of the motion comics. Thank you for the wonderful regen. Make sure not to squander this fantastic resource. But yeah, Spider-Man India's, from what we've seen so far, and knowing DLL, I think will be pretty good. Good to see you as well, Journal. I hope all is well and that you've kept on. It's very nice to come back to the community after such a long time and see so many familiar faces. I'll still be doing my little thing over here. yeah, it's cool to be able to hang out with some of y'all while I do content that I've been procrastinating for a little bit longer than I'd like to admit. Even if it is justified procrastination. No, I don't know, like, I know MCOC is a very deep game in terms of who is present in the roster. But I would be amiss if I didn't say that there were a few champions that just I looked at and I just kind of shrugged at. Storm Pyramid X is one of them. I know she's from M-Rock. Rest in peace. But it's sometimes so strange to see her as a defender and be like, oh yeah, I remember you. You were from that game that no longer is here. Because champions never fully leave. Except, you know, I would say Quake and Magic, but, you know, they're not fully gone. They're coming back relatively soon, or at least, Magic is. I believe she's getting a full model rework, too. What's up, LK? Happy to have you. I procrastinated my Elder EQ a little bit too hard. I was trying to get the last little bits of prestige that I could out of 9.3. Ended up doing it and just have fallen behind on getting this thing done. So I figured what better way to motivate myself than hopping on a stream, talking to some of y'all, and making it worth it. Yeah. Please enjoy. I don't think there's that much content lying about, but, you know, I certainly kick around and do what I can. I have a pretty decently sized account, and shrug emoji, I guess. This dude's gonna be real annoying, isn't he? Let's just bait out the special too. Oh, wait a second. I'm Prowler. I don't have to worry about his specials retaining any power. Duh. You have kinetic transference. Can I introduce you to no kinetic whatsoever? Regen, however, is quite annoying. And that reduced combat rates just kind of sucks. This should kill, hopefully, though. Yerp. We have a whopping 20% health to go into one of the more annoying boss fights. Who would probably be the best champion to do this with? Oh! If I'm going to be at low health anyway, just Fury it up. don't just want your Prowler duped, my guy. You want him high sig. High sig. And the worst part is he needs it. And he needs it something bad. It's nuts how the math works out on it. It's one of the worst scaling SIGs in the entire game. Alright, let's back off before she goes nuts on it. Like the first like the final 20 SIG levels have the same impact as the rest of the 180 or something to that extent. They tried to balance it with diminishing returns and it results in this like hellishly unbalanced a kit that just needs those every SIG level that you can get out of it. Gave them to Sentinel because I didn't think it would dupe them. And Sentinel's like, I want to say the exact opposite use case, where those SIG levels don't super matter for him, because it's only relevant at the very tail end of his life in Battlegrounds. I should also totally be on my second life with Nick Fury when I'm doing these specials, but I don't trust that I won't scrub this up at some point. Oh, there's Jessica. I would say you're not wrong for gemming either of them. Both of them are fantastic champions. And I don't think, like, long-term you'll regret sigging any of them. You know, not to crush on your choices anymore, but they're both in the basic. It's only a matter of time. And this game works about not having perfect information. If we knew everything in this game's future and we could make the perfect blaze, all of our accounts would roughly look the exact same. That would be kind of boring, wouldn't it be? I absolutely love the special 3 and regen all your health. Oh, dude, it's so cool. I also do enjoy it quite a bit. One thing I do not enjoy, though, is like the way these rewards are laid out. Actually, this one's a rare case where the thing I currently have is the one in progress. But if you're not specifically there, it doesn't tell you. And which one's this one? This one's the skill one. Okay. Skill is like my least fleshed out class. But I can make some things work. And I think this one specifically bleeds, so Valkyrie is not the best option. Valkyrie? Valkyrie. No. This is non-damaging debuffs. Yeah, some of those payoffs are just so cool. Zemo's anything, basically. Like his special stuff. It's just so peak. Something about his gameplay is just so rewarding. I know I should be playing her in a different way to optimize hitting into the block, but I'm trying to mainly get the crits so I don't have to go for much else here. I'm also not a fan of how this shuts off low power. Surprised he hasn't launched a heavy yet. Surprised we don't have Valkyrie as a 7-star yet? I wouldn't be. She's kind of nuts. I don't I think the skill class is a little bit underbaked. I think she just eats too much of Masakure's lunch, I guess. Like, I can't really think of that much that she does that, or anything unique that Masakure does that Valkyrie can't, outside of like maybe incinerate damage. But you know, with Frank coming to the game, I think Frank does all that more. So you know, if you look at the skill 6-star lock champions like Kate, who's, you know, dramatically overtuned, I don't think I need to talk about that. Kingpin, who just makes all debuffs a joke, and then his stat tuning just makes him even more powerful. And Valkyrie, who's like, tuning also just makes her infinitely more reliable. They love releasing the high sig champs. Yeah, but keep in mind for stuff like, for some of these guys, like, think about Archangel, right? If Archangel comes out as a 7-star, he gets stat focuses. And you want to know something about Archangel's stat focuses? The thing about Archangel's stat focus is that the like his big thing, like his heavy attack spam loop, that's based on critical hits. If that gets unleashed and he can do that infinitely more reliable. Oh god, I just got hit with so much damage. Let's see if I can erase this here. I don't believe I can. Shit. Belly bump. Ah, so close. One more bump and I would have had it. But if Archangel came out as a 7-star, not only would he have more damage, but he would be like infinitely more reliable, because he would have more critical opportunities and interrupts that would normally come from that opportunity. Even if you're not, you know, getting him specifically to Sig, I believe his magic number's like 114, 113. It doesn't matter, because those everything. It's just such. He becomes an infinitely better champion in a way that I don't think a lot of people realize, and that kind of scares me. Because that stat focus difference is just huge. And I don't think a lot of people realize what would happen if that were to drop. And there are just penetration stat focuses for Akira as well, and then, you know, combat power rate being maxed out isn't the biggest breaker for most people, but it does help out a few a little bit more than others. It would be wonderful if I could keep her to the special one here. That's totally something in my control. And let me time the second life at the end of the fight, so I'm able to regen up to full again. They got me with a special lock. I just have to... Wait a second, when he goes into his second life, he shrugs all debuffs, so I should have just done that from there. I would love Kingpin as a 7-star. I'm predicting when they release the next Spider-Man movies, he'll be the villain. Interesting. I've heard word on the street that it's going to be a much more street-level movie. So I wouldn't be surprised, but spoilers for Daredevil Born Again, I guess. Come back in like a minute if you don't want those. But Kingpin's in that series as like a main antagonist. So they released Daredevil Hell's Kitchen for the last one, and GDHQ was a not the most insane champ. There's no particularly scary champion in this this quest, so I think I'm good to just blitz it. Let me remind myself of what isn't and what is. Gotta remember to not double tap block accidentally. Gotta get better at those releases. God bless kids, just stupid trick arrows. I'm consistently doing the late arrows in the incorrect fashion here. But it doesn't matter too much because Kate's overpowered. He could be the next Human Torch. Give me your wallet champion. I don't disagree. Kingpin will never be a 7-star, sadly. Maybe. I mean, if it's coming from DLL, I think never is a little bit of a strong word. So was it real, the announcement of 7-star Aegon? 7-star Aegon hasn't been announced, but let me see if I can get the exact basis that people are mentioning this off of. There is a... I want to say, is it in this event or is it somewhere else? There's a rank up gem for the saga that's coming up, and that saga includes 7-star Aegon and 7-star some other champion that's not currently released. Or it's a 7-star rank 1 to 2 gem for champions that are not currently 7 stars in the game. So who knows? For the saga that we just had, the Fantastic Force one, there was a gem for Super Scroll, and Super Scroll came out. Yes, it was Rhino. Thank you for getting me on that. I mean, Aegon needs his Sig to be anything other than a wet noodle. I don't think it's as crazy as people are saying. God, I can't believe they released this dude as a 7-star. Permanent bleed damage, by the way. I do really want him. I see what Mike sees in him. But yeah, for 7-star Aegon, it's so interesting how Aegon is structured as a champion, because he blitzes through just so much content. But he needs that Sig, and he needs the runway. It's just, like, if you were to put him in here, he'd never, if it was duped or unduped, it would never matter. Hey, what's up, Vega? Nothing much. I have severely procrastinated doing the rerun of the Elder difficulty because I figured I could get some more prestige. And that was, how would I say, not the smartest decision. So we'll see if I end up 100%ing it. I should have the ability to do that, but it is certainly not my smartest moment. Love a good last second EQ run. I can't even defend it. I mean, they gave us, it was what, 2 weeks to do each run. I did the first one at a normal speed and at a normal time, and this one was, you know, a little bit after. So I had to do it twice in 1 month. If I did it early and I did it late, so what's not to love? Ed, how are you doing, Big I've I hope all is well. Been away in the hills for the past week or so, so I haven't been keeping up to date too much, but I saw a large number of videos posted to your channel. So some pretty alarming titles. So I hope all is well and that you're keeping on and carrying on. I do love the girl Chi. I don't care if this dude has so much power because I just get to heavy counter that special one all day. Oh, that's so nice. Just melt. Do some Luma tricks on it. Oh god, it's Surfer whose special one gives him... Okay, well, hopefully this wasn't too big of a blunder. No big issues, right? Yeah, I'm great. Not much going on for me MCOC wise lately. Of course. Yeah, why would there? There surely nothing has been going on. I have a lot of videos to catch up on. I have a lot of homework to do. A lot of MCOC content creator homework. Is this Vigilance going to throw a wrench in Lumatrix's plans? It does not, really. I think I need to be reinformed what Vigilance does again. Because I totally thought that would completely mess up Luma's game. I believe Vigilance is anti-miss, and Luma's is an evade, which is a little bit uncommon for the skill class. Except Bullseye. But, yeah. I know Luma can get the miss from his special one after he is evading and such. Let's see how horrifying this is. See if I can keep Mr. Neff to a special 2. Also, I believe he's bleed immune. This might have been a catastrophic misplay on my half. However, Big Special 2 does not care about your immunities, so... No one is immune to damage except Thanos, like 3 times a fight, but that's okay. He can have that as a little treat. Beta Ray Billionaire. Morbius Gulk. Nothing particularly difficult up ahead. I say that before I die like probably 6 or 7 times, but you know, I got the manpower, got the willpower, I got the champ power. And I do vaguely know how to play Mantis, I think. Maybe. Oh great, he's steady now. Surely that's fine. I'm gonna wait for that to go away before I drop this special. Big money, no whammy. Where was my striker? Did that just turn on auto run instead of launching my striker? That's wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. Are these 4 energy a tile? I didn't even notice that. Are the swap nodes energy? They're not. Okay. That's, you know, significantly better, and I'm a fan of that, but I did not realize that. Let's see if we can just get a very quick full heal with Nick. Am I dense? Where's my power? Oh, it's the striker power node. I have the reading comprehension of someone who probably should have... probably shouldn't be playing a mobile video game this casually, but I'm making it work. Alright. This guy should really... Alright, so that one wasn't... Oh, mother trucker. He totally activated the special lock at the exact moment I dropped that special. Alright, well hopefully this gets him. Yes, it does, and that is a very healthy health amount to be sitting at. Alright, who do we have left? Morbgulk. Morbgulk sounds like the name of a really bad ice cream flavor. Morbgulk. Yeah. Hopefully there's no unintended interaction that I'm missing here. That would suck. Do your glide. Oop, he did his glide. He was a little bit too responsive to what I was saying. I am very happy that they're buffing Morbius through the release of Frankencastle with the Undying passive receiving the buff that they have. So it now defends against all dot effects. Because under normal circumstances, this is the only scenario in which he'll die. Gulkies and cream? Oh god. But I've been... One of my favorite icebreaker questions as of late is if you were to have a rest stop, like I don't know if you guys are from Jersey or from any of the areas that have a ton of rest stops named after very iconic, very famous people, but there's some like the John Bon Jovi rest stop or other similar areas. It's like if you were to have a rest stop named after you, what shops would be in there? You know? That's one of those horrifying, soul-revealing questions. It's like a small talk, but... 7-star Star-Lord would be fun, but one of the biggest issues is the prestige. Well, I mean... prestige has been fixed, right? Like, wasn't it the point of top 30? Or am I misremembering? And payout. I would like to see more prestige adjustments, but the thing is there always has to be a prestige loser. Like there always has to be someone at the very bottom of the pool. And I don't think any champion wants to sign up for that. Suppose I have some sort of interaction with glancing. For some reason I think he does, but... Bad magic tricks and counterfeit Labubus? For your gas station items of choice. It's I think that's most of them. I've seen more counterfeit Labubus at more malls than I would care to admit. Lafufus. My girlfriend has one, and its name is Max. And the fact that it's been named is more of a disgrace to anything else than I could possibly give into this world. So I have to live with Max's presence. And he looks up at me from her bag. And that is the curse that I've been given. The Lufufu acknowledges me, and I acknowledge it. Begrudgingly at best. I'm very happy there are no Labubu variants or some sort of familiar trend hopping in MCOC. I'm very happy MCOC has the trend cadence of like an uncle that sometimes remembers a word that's hip, and his TikTok For You page algorithm is like full of woodworking videos. And that there's a very good chance that he's learning about what demure is right now. And that's the cultural relevancy. It's we're gonna get an event in like November that's like so demure, so elegant, and it's gonna be for like the solo event or something. I know it's to do with their release cycle, but it does become very funny. Oops. I'm completing her missions. I need to be completing mine. Okay. This Speaking of champions that would be very interesting as 7 stars, Proxima is like treading the line. Cause like her damage is so situational, and I feel like it's kind of the issue that came up with Proxima when she like came out. Like she can do absolutely insane numbers, but the issue is like there's nowhere for her to do those insane numbers. Like she can get up to one meaty special too, but she'll do it and then she's out of gas. Karate Mike would have protein powder, energy drinks, and Denver Broncos merch stand. I have no doubt in my mind that that is exactly what Michael's Rest Stop would have. I still can't believe he flies out of New York every single stream. I guess his work comps him for it, so the more the merrier, but jeez, I could not imagine. I think Dave was based in Florida and then moved up, which was a pretty good way of going about it. I want to use up a few health potions in the overflow currently. Let's see if I remember how to fight this guy. Am I not supposed to be constantly intercepting him? Max would just try to resell all of his hot toys. I worked at a comic book shop for a very long time when I was a kid. It was like my high school job. And as the MCU was coming up and it was like, you know, doing its thing, Hot Toys were coming out, and they were just some of the most beautiful just items to unbox. And I got the chance to put out a good chunk of them for when they came about, and they're just so beautiful. Them and the Sideshow statues are just so prominent. I got light intercepted by Absorbing Man. I've never been more ashamed in my life. But I think I mentioned this close to every single stream, but I stream so irregularly it doesn't really matter. There is a official product. Oh god, I am not used to the striker button being that far away from my thumbs. There is the Hot Toys MODOK. That just looks frightening. It is horrifying. I'm not sure if I can... I'm not going to show it on screen because I don't want to go over and configure things. I say that, now I'm going to get hit with like a 10-minute loading screen here. But the Hot Toys MODOK from Quantumania is just this absolute monstrosity, and it never got officially made because Quantumania kind of flopped, but there are versions of it out there because they had it at a show floor, and it just looks this hyper realistic face, and it's probably my white whale of an item at this point because I would love to get it for my desk at work because I know it's just absolutely horrifying and no one would like it. So it's like a natural deterrent for when people come over to ask me coding questions. And for those that really appreciate it, they'll appreciate it. Lumatrix song to the tune of Ludacris is a big ask there. That's quite the abomination. Lumatrix gonna tell you how to feel. But I think that's Tayo Cruz, actually. What is the Mystic Ask? Is it nullifying buffs? If it's nullifying buffs, I should probably start with one of the least nullifying champions on the roster. Oh yes, there were some difficult fights in here from what I remember. That Shocker was kind of difficult, and they replaced that Mojo with a Doc Ock. Interesting. Okay, so they did go around and replace some champions. I would really like to see, and I know that there's like a 0% chance that they do this, but I would really like to see them like segment out these little chunks to be a little bit in-class reliant, because I'm not going to be nullifying buffs with every single Mystic champion. Oop, I have dropped block for normal reasons. But Dave owes us an MCOC song as part of compensation. I'm not sure who would hate that more, them or us. Yeah, it's like a breakup mixtape. Oop. I ran straight into that one. My bad. God, those Ruptures tick for so much damage. The wolf is so cool. I will tell you though, if I opened up my in-game mail to a photo, like a photo of Dave, just there, being like, "Hey, we really messed up this time. Here's soothing ballad, or here's a soothing ballad from the heart." I don't know what my reaction would be, but it would certainly be something. Yeah, why not? We're making relatively good time. We're only 2 hours in, roughly. Absolutely, definitively, arbitrarily, concisely. What does his special 2 look like? Does it have beams? It does have beams. He's the type of guy to have beams in his special 2, you know? Oh, remember when they updated buff immunity? To have like an updated icon, and then very shortly they released Nico Manoro, who had buff immunity as part of her kit. Something that they updated recently that I haven't seen many people talk about is the guaranteed critical icon got updated. I don't believe it's part of the same wave, but it's interesting because it came out, I want to say, last update. And that's roughly the timeline that we had from the icon being updated to Nico coming out. I think you're expecting a little bit much out of Dave. I don't think the musical interludes are part of his job description. Or maybe Kabam's hoarding them all for himself. It's there's just a big library there that's just full of nothing but Dave tracks. We go to Summoners Fest and it's just Dave on a stage with an acoustic guitar. Just, hey guys, I've been saving up the past 3 months just for you guys. Or however long it's been since his last title track. I want to say he had one about a jar of Arnhem Cola or something. You know, pretty creative, all things considered. Also, Tiger's just an obscene champion. She's just nuts every single time I use her. It would be cool if there was just musical interludes by Dave at the Summoners Fest. Have a little goof, have a little whimsy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know his immunities off the top of my head, but Shocker is shock immune, right? Like that. That is something that he has. Yeah, cool. I was gonna say because he's basically an insulated quilt. That is his super suit. Oh, they got arc overload now. All right, use your special. Oop. Oh yeah, the stun immunity isn't even a part of his kit. That's just me being how do I say, intelligent deprived. Give me a second to lock in for a second. I did say this was a difficult fight. I just omitted the part that it was difficult because I'm bad at the game. Beta ray build version of AC/DC Thunder. How would that go? Like, I would love an insight into the mind of musical genius that would lead to that creation. Alright. I should have just Shothred this. When in doubt, Shothra it out. Alright, well, at least you can drop this without any major repercussions. Pun intended. Alright. And there we go. That's how I should have handled it from the start, because Chavez is an amazing character, and it's amazing. I don't know that's Dave's job. Well, Dave has to start from somewhere. What's a champion that... Sassy has some regen to some extent, I imagine. Surely Doc Ock's heal block, the mechanic that we all know and love, won't be meta relevant at all here. Ooh, 2 crits on a Sashi special. Sashi special. 2 crits on a Sassy special too. What a wonderful Christmas gift. I only see that once a year. No, bad idea to... Latina and Morningstar duet to Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. Your mind is full of expectations that I'm not sure the world is able to meet. Kushala doing Kushala things, as she often does. Should I Kushala saved her for a Kushala future champion? Nope, everyone else looks relatively reasonable. Now, give me a good Mystic champion that can regen. Most of them. Is my next champion Incinerate immune? I don't believe Wags is. I was this close to using Deathless Gilly. And I talked myself out of it. I've often wondered how Mephisto's Cajun anything from Barry White. You are oof, I did not expect him to use that. I'm trying to get the infinite off here for draining more than 2 bars of power with a special 3. What's up, God of the Abyss? Welcome in. I'm being lazy and procrastinating my eventual completion here. Procrastinating my finish of 9.3 because of the Silver Sable boss. That is very valid. I did the entirety of 9.3 inside of the DMV, so I don't know who sat through a bigger slog, but I was certainly entertained. So I had to update the registration on my Honda Civic, which is a very real issue that I encounter as an adult. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know how it's filtering there either, but come on, Deathless Gilly, give me one good regen on the special too. I don't know why I'm trying to cheese this with regen champs. I have like 1,000,000 health potions in the overflow. Oof. My bad. That is revive number 2 of the entire chapter. Or of the event quest, I should say. I only have 24 left in overflow before I have to start using my 60 that I have in normal stash. And I believe that the event quest itself gives multiple as well. Let's try to avoid baiting the special 2 because just simply the duration that it travels is just too much. And come on, give me a regen. Nope. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Zip zilch 0. Go. Good 8% regen. Nothing to complain about. Speaking of Silver Sable, let me give this gal the old what for you. Hmm. There we go. That's the thing that Juggernaut does. Quite effectively, I might add. Why does he regen? I don't know. Just what he do. I'm hoping I can pull Omega Sentinel by the time I save up enough revives to finish 9.3, but it's looking like I'm going to have to use Red Skull. Yeesh. Well, if you're getting Radiance, I believe there's like a 125k Radiance selector for any of the Omega Days champions. I don't know if that's in your wheelhouse, potentially, but that could be a way to cheap out, or cheese out an Omega Sentinel. It's a good way of thinking about it. I'm after Quicksilver myself. I think I have all of the other Omega Days champions. The striker button's a little bit farther on this iPad than it is on my phone. It always messes me up. But yes, I'm very excited about my ability to finally get Quicksilver. It's a very generic fight. Let's just Tiger it, even as a 6-star. I'm hoping that when the new champions come into the basic in like December, that we see their respective selectors added into the Radiant store at similar price points. I don't know if that's too much to ask, but I think it would be very cool if it happened. Tiger just shreds through anything. It's the 6-star. Jeez. I do hope we see like some sort of larger scale selector come out for some of the more hard to get champions. Is Moondragon shock immune? Moondragon's the type of champion to be shock immune. No, not that I could see. Not a fan of all this mind blasting I'm being given. Let's see if I remember how to Doom Cycle. I do! Somewhat. There we go. Medium, light, medium, medium, light, light, medium. special one. No one particularly jumps out at me as being a good regen option here. But Pergs can at least do some of it, and that's what I'm after. What I was kind of hoping for with all these champ pools is that some of them would come in to replace like the pre-existing like artifacts incursion pools. Like how sick would it be to get the like have the incursion pools rotate over so that it was like the gifted guardians or something. Like I think it would be not an easy win, but very cool to see those champions get repurposed elsewhere. Sweet, I was able to get that one in at the nick of time. Oh, and now I die because I made a little boo-boo. La-boo-boo. Little, oh my god. I've been infected by a disease I cannot control. Alright. One failed dex, and now I'm in hot water. Also, why are Purgatory's feet out? She should have shoes on. Kind of sucks we can only buy one selector for Radiance. I would love if there were just some like trade-in similar to the, you know, like the incursions pools where the crystals exist for you to be able to you know, cook for their respective champions. So like paying 25k for I don't know, some sort of like crystal, even if it's not a guaranteed selector. Just we need better ways to isolate the pools currently. I feel like there's just too much going on in the base pools just getting really big because, you know, there's 200 plus champions in there. Can't expect everyone to pull everything. Go my bugs. Shathra's so cool. I'm very happy Shathra on her respective summoner's choice vote. However, what I'm not gonna enjoy is this Silver Samurai fight. I forgot who I used for it. Oop, let me enable her pre-fights. Let me see if I can do some adrenaline conversion magic here. Alright, give me a little bit of regen. Well, I guess it's not regen? It's a secret third thing? Nico is so good. I don't see a world in which she's untouched. Yeah, let's fan it. He has so much survivability. Worst case scenario, we get clipped by like a special 2 because Silver Samurai decides to be a close quarters combat freak. Let me get my swarm up. Use your heavy. Thank you. Who needs daunted when you can be deaded? Whatever the kids say. I don't think the kids are saying anything. I don't think the kids are watching. I kind of like the nodes shrinking the size of the arena. I think we're going to see it on a champion sooner rather than later. Based on the trap descriptions that we've been given for Paviter, which is the Spider-Man to come into the game, I think that there's a chance that Paviter will shrink the arena. Or like have traps that force you to be in close combat with him. But I do agree, it's a very cool mechanic. Makes intercepting very wonky, which is interesting because Fant's entire thing is intercepting. Or at least a good chunk of it is. But it's a cool little gimmick, I will say. There's these little things that you pick up on. Yeah, I don't think they'd introduce and invest all that tech into shrinking the size. Imagine we see it on Ares sooner rather than later. That's true. We haven't seen Ares in a hot second. I think we're due for a piece of endgame content relatively soon. I'm kind of hoping it's something involving Ares. Milestone 16 achieved. We're almost at a Titan that I will be opening at the end of all this. Thank you for sticking around. One final quest left, and we'll have a 7-star stat cast and a Titan to open. And this one's Cosmic, which is by far probably my most stacked class. So. But Ares already roots you on specials. It's, well, I guess his entire kit is modular. Cosmic Grit. This one's a bit of a weird one. Maestro might not be the man for this. Because he gets the buffs, but he turns it into passives. We'll see. Worst case, I slog through it. No, those are certainly not the numbers I want to be seeing. With how they were hyping up Ares, I'm very surprised we haven't seen him, like, at all since, like, Epoch. Is that weird to anyone else? Like, heard a rumor about November having more Everest content. Well, historically, what they do when they like alternate stuff, we usually get 1 year of, well, the last few years, I guess I should say, not historically. When they rotate that stuff, they do. I also mistimed that special. That's so unfortunate. When they rotate the cadence of how they go about like distributing endgame content releases. Normally, it's like set period of time on, set period of time off. We're approaching the time period where the last piece of Everest content was Wheel of Fate, which is like, in MCOC terms, forever ago. And I feel like we're itching for something bigger. And normally, I think we're on the cusp of another progression title. I think we're on the cusp of rank 5s. And I think we're also on the cusp of another large piece of endgame content. I wouldn't be surprised if all three of those things go together. I would be quite surprised actually if they didn't. So I think a lot of the live ops team devotion has been onto the new tech and scaling for it, for like the Everest content, or not Everest content, for the EQ stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to see something come up down the line that's like, hey, just so you know, brace yourselves. Just matches their timing and release criteria. It's not the like the biggest smart boy points for figuring that one out, you know? Bam. There we go. Shout out Hulkling. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but there are certain limitations with building out Everest content right now that, like, you have to basically build around this huge monolith of stockpiled resources that, like, everyone and their mother has for, like, most endgame players. Like, I have... Like, people are getting guaranteed multiple revives from multiple sources currently with the new rework that they did to the daily events, to the daily super events, and, like, to, you know, close to everything else. Like, I think it's nuts to pretend that we're in the same revive state that we were when Acropolis released. The vast majority of people were not doing those things. Or what type of payout I could get from a big old special 2 right about now. That was a whopping 0 crits. However, I did get up to 10 aptitudes. And no om-noms. Guess there are no buffs to nom. I guess I should have looked at this a little bit earlier, but I wonder if there's any particularly difficult fights coming up. I'm still in the old build, so Super Scroll's not going to give me much trouble. I don't think I should save my Medusa for that Ultron. I believe if it wasn't for the CCP, we would not have the amount of revives we get now in game completing content. I believe that. I think that the advocacy that like the community has towards yelling about specific things is very very well worth it in terms of resource progression, because we wouldn't have the same amount of revives, we wouldn't have the same amount of energy refills, but you know, I wonder if that hurts Kabam in any noticeable capacity. Alright, come on, drop that. This isn't the one where he revives, right? It'd be amazing if you could do that. Not that I'm saying advocating for more resources to the community is bad, mind you. I, in fact, quite like having a glut of resources, but I would like if certain things in this game were more challenging. And I imagine we're going to see that with, hopefully, optional challenges for cool cosmetics. Because it's hard to get mad at cosmetics being gated behind a large, not paywall, but skill wall as well. I should totally be weaving in a heavy in here, by the way. Oh, too bad. Superior Iron Man won the fight too quick. Sure. I don't know if this is the best idea to do this here. Like the Grandmaster fight was pretty disappointed with the recent God Doom boss. I think the God Doom boss is basically, hey, how can we force people to play like Gladiator? It was one of the easiest act bosses, should have been a little bit more difficult in my opinion. I agree with you there. He was a little bit of a pushover for being such this, I think most act bosses aren't really that difficult. I'm going to be very honest. Grandmaster, like, once you learned whatever mechanic they're quizzing you on, they're not that bad. I'm not the biggest Gladiator fanboy, but the cadence of Doom after Ares was just, I really don't know what they were cooking up, because it just seems like a purely worse version of the Ares fight in terms of the skill ask, which is a specific input during special attacks, and instead of up, down, left, right, A, B, star, it's instead just left, right, left. Hirochi's your favorite boss. Interesting. What, do you have any specific reasoning why? It's God Doom, not Doom Jr. Isn't it like God Emperor Doom or something? He's allowed to be chillin'. I'm happy they let him play with the big boys and they let him have some toys. But yeah, God, because we just had the Crucible. So thinking back on it, So shout out Serpents and Dethan's Prestige for being too apart from each other. Who's next up? Gam. I'm hoping the X-23 rework is going to make her more like Orochi. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, some elements involved. I'm interested to see what they do with regen in the year 2025. I don't know. I feel like regen is one of those antiquated mechanics where, like, it's on its surface level is like one of the most busted things in the game. Like, recovery at that scale, at that level, I don't know what that will look like. I'd love to see it. Like, there is a teaser for some of the mechanics that were introduced with Wolverine for the PS5, I want to say. Where they're like, how do we handle this character with this godly level of regen in, you know, a balanced game environment? How do we deal with this guy? And the answer that they came to in that, like, dev Q&A was that they limited his regen to only, like, based on the viciousness of his attacking skill. And I think that's an interesting and a little bit of a novel approach to it. I hope we do see something like that inside of X-23's kit, because I think that's pretty cool, and I'm a fan of it. I hated the Ares fight up until the last 2 or 3 passes when I finally got it down. I'd be open to a new challenge to go back in there. Yeah, I think a lot of people had very similar reactions to it. I wouldn't mind seeing like a hodgepodge boss. It's like a collection of a large number of mechanics or asks, similar to what Gwen Master was trying to do. Or not trying to do, but did, I guess I should say. Where she has a large number of modes that have them relative to each other. I think Iron Lad Kang might be my favorite boss fight. With the time manipulation. Oh, I messed up that heavy quite badly. But yeah, the whole time travel stuff, I'm excited to see, or trepidatiously excited to see what they cook up with the end of this current act that we're in. I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up with the story, which I know can be a big ask sometimes. There is a in story right now. Karina has been corrupted with the Ouroboros virus that's been, like, what led to God Emperor Doom. And Doom is like, I am too powerful, I am more powerful than an elder. Basically, you cannot infect me. And the jumping off point that the Ouroboros had, or the snurp, or whatever the snake is called, Eternity, was like, ah, yes, of course, you make so much sense. How can I corrupt gods without first corrupting a man who claims to be one? And Doom was like, no, I am a god. And basically mauled it out. And after he finished crashing out, then we got to fight him there. So I think the next chapter might have a Karina boss who has been corrupted with, who is one of the Ouroboros minions. Glycan is a fun fight. I'm not opposed to him. I know that some members of our community have done just absolutely insane numbers of Glycan fights to earn that badge or the Bastion title. Something like north of 500 or something. But I think there is a real chance that we see like a culmination of all those abilities. And I think that there was a real chance that Doom was supposed to have some sort of map altering ability with his like specials that we did not see because the issues with the Lotan boss and it causing lag on other people's phones. So what could have been. Oh well. Also, I probably should have saved Serpent for Cassie. Trying to think here. Deuce is probably good. She didn't know at defo. Because if I get clipped, defo's regen is pretty decent. I hated everything about Lotan. That's also completely valid. It's just her asks were a little bit narrow for what she was like pushing for. So, Cassie's stings don't deal that much damage, right? Yeah. Even as like a souped up defender. Jeez. I wish Kabam would let us have a 7-star Cassie. She's one of those ones that I feel like we're not too far off from seeing. Also, I totally thought I'd die quicker against Cassie. She just, her SIG is basically just a flat random chance to evade, correct? No, that's a little bit bogus. Oh no, don't hit me. I'm so close to regenning. Oh no. I wonder how Defoe's balance program is going to go, because I feel like people are going to be upset no matter what happens. They'll either be like, oh, she should have gotten nerfed, or oh, the nerf wasn't strong enough. I don't think there's a clean way to make everybody happy. Even if they gave her to everybody, people just wouldn't want to fight her. I think I came out of that with identical health to what I entered in with. Just, you know, kind of funny. Let's try a coal. If we don't give him enough power, he won't be able to shrug these debuffs. It's a pay-to-win champ, shouldn't be touched. I mean, I don't know. I think that they might, like, alter her a little bit before they make her, I guess, widely available would be the best term. I also don't understand why Cole has combo shield. I'm gonna be very honest. It just seems so out of place in his toolkit. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an update to Dark Phoenix. I also wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see an update to Dark Phoenix. But next month is going to be a bloodbath for the balance team. No matter how they slice it. Let's try Dethan. See if we can be a little bit cheeky against this guy. Oop. It should turn his combo shield into block proficiency buffs, lol. Well, it is a shield. I mean, like, you can just pretend it's block proficiency. I don't know what it's doing there, but he likes him. It's his comfort 10 combo shield. Well, the funny part, too, I believe, is that Pavitzer comes out, like, the week of Showdown. So if he does something funky, there's a chance that we'll see him, like, double tracked for the first time just right there. But I think they're going to hold off on doing most things. many champions do I have left? Is that 2? 3. Jeez, voice crack. 3 and then the boss. Weeball. I'll be there in person if they if they nerf Nico while the fest is ongoing. That would be really funny. Like the balance decision comes down like between day 1 and day 2. But again, the timeline is like so far out. I mean, Jess isn't even being nerfed until like January, right? So the rebalance period might be up for those guys, but it won't be you know, they won't be changed for a while. Now, I doubt they'd make a change affecting one of the most liked characters of the year while they're all in physical proximity to a large player base that could be easily aggravated, but they might. They just might. I also would prefer to block this dude's special ones instead of everything else he might be cooking. Oop. I'm surely getting better at dexing Cyclops' special one. I surely will not be clipped by Cyclops' special one. Affirm. There we go. And 2 fights left. Yeah, I'll Herc a Groot. Done more for less and less for more. There's this guy on the top end of Battlegrounds. I'm not sure if you guys have seen him on like a lag stream or such, who does nothing but play a defensive Groot. Also, I pride myself in my ability of never getting clipped by Groot Special 2. It's like the one thing that I have against this dude. Hashtag buff Groot. I think they should leave him as is. Like, we got King Groot, we got Deathless King Groot. They have to rule over some sort of squad. It would be cool if we got, like, Team Groot, though. Look at how long it's taking him to get killed with Hercules. Like, I mean, honestly, hashtag buff Hercules. Hashtag not a skill issue. Hashtag it's not me, it's Turk. Don't push him to a special 3. Still got it. Hashtag add baby Groot. Yeah, make him like 1,000,000 times better than Groot. Which, you know, would put him about the average champion skill level, so I think that's fine. Excuse me. Sure if you could hear me sneeze. But I did, and it happened, so. Alright. Time to cheese this Mr. Knight for the final time. Because something about taking all the damage or taking an increased amount of damage while you're activating a special while you have 30 of the most potent bleeds in the game on you results in a pretty easy knockout. So that's that. We get a single chunk of ISO for our efforts. Tree allergies. Well, you know, I think you might be onto something. Alright, well, we got some rewards to open, of some variety, of some kind. I'm gonna leave my 7-star shards alone for the time being. I opened when the, what's-his-face entered, the Omega Days. And I'm going to hold off on cracking those until the Omega Day or the new December wave comes in. Oh, by the way, technically the best value from the daily super event reward selectors are the tier 6 basic or tier 3 alpha in terms of what you get back based on pure radiance cost, if you were wondering. So I like to claim them there. Also, the dust would go into my overflow from the Realm event. So I am not going to claim that for the time being. We have the Cav crystals from some lower difficulty. Some cool 4-stars and such. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Crack these 15. Don't really mean much to me. Is there like a guaranteed paired alloy in here or something? so many stat casts. 6-star battle casts, 5-star battle casts. Actually, let me see if I can trade in those 5-star for a 6-star. I totally can. I'm still missing a few 6-star battle casts. Nothing crazy eventful out of these. Just show me something new and I'll be happy. And that's a switch dupe. Are these still broken where they don't properly render the signature level? No, they're fixed. Wow. Color me surprised. Winter Soldier dupe again. Still missing a 6-star Venom battlecast. Yeah, I think I'm missing like a 3-star Mr. Sinister battlecast as well. Which is like nuts because Sinister's the only one that really matters at that low of a rarity. It's like, well, great. Here's this one champion who has this one specific piece of utility that will be permanently relevant for all time. You have to kind of live with the fact that you'll be unable to pull them. Wow, that sucks. We're like one off. Nice. That's a very good stat cast. Critical damage and energy resist. 7 stars doesn't really matter. If it's a new one... Actually, I lied. New ones increase my prestige. Just universally. If it's gonna be a dupe, I want it to be my... Ooh, that's a good one. It's probably, I think, the best bullseye one that you can get. Because that's primary critical damage and then secondary critical damage rating. Precise ferocity. Sweet, I will take it. And I think I have a... these ISO blocks to crack. And some 7-star Awakening Gem, Paired Alloy, and then a Titan. Oh, 6-star Statcast Relic Nexus Crystal. Have to go with the new every time. This one, I don't know what I want, but it's relic stuff, so it'll find a use. That's not ISO 8. Tech Alloy. Gotta have the 6-star version of that? That's pretty sweet. I'm not exactly sure what 7-star gems I currently want. As long as this is not a duplicate, I am completely fine with it. I also think I have 5 of the 6 classes and 2 generic 7-star gems, so even if it's a dupe, I can't really debate it that much. Be cool to get a Cosmic to slam into Angela, I guess. Hey, I think I used my Mystic on Nico, so... Actually, no, I already had I had another one, so... I'll take it. Speaking of Nico, this is the final crystal of the stream. If I get Nico, I will be upset. I'm not sure how many people will say that, but my Nico is Sig 180 currently. The number 1 champions that I want out of this Nexus Crystal are Jean and Baron Zemo. Either of those would be top tier. Anything else, I'll be mildly miffed, but we'll see. I only have so many I could go for. I know I should be saving, but because Jean is a champion that I do still want, I am going to go ahead and spin this out. All right. Come on, show me Jean. Show me Jean. That's a lot of Zola. Spider-Woman. Oh, one off. Yeah. That's unfortunate. First time awakening, but what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? Alright, with that being said, it is pretty late for me. But this is a very well explored event quest. Thank you for joining me in my last minute shenanigans. I hope you had a wonderful time and enjoyed this as much as I did. Thanks for sticking around. Oh, also, if you enjoyed, consider subscribing. I played the video game that you're currently watching. All right. Have a good one, all. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.